Hey guys, I don't know what I'm going to call this video. I'm sure that whatever I end up calling it, there's probably a better possible title out there. If anyone can think of one, just leave it in the comments, and if I agree that it's better, I'll change it. But in my last video, the one that I did where I talked about Squid Game, I gotta find a place where I can set up this camera. Is this okay? Okay. God dang it, I gotta stack it up somewhere again. For fuck's sake. These earphones are dead anyway. That's why they're here. But, how's this? I just want to be able to be in a relaxed position so that I can truly talk. Relaxed, whatever. This is fine. Maybe some creepy monster will come out here and my attack will be caught on camera. I don't know. I don't know if I use that word, but, in my last video where I talked about Squid Game, I said that, I might struggle to come to like agreements with people if they're a previously established enemy. I always try to cooperate with people who are my friends or people who I have no idea who they are. But the moment that I see that someone's ideology is just completely screwed up, it's hard for me to cooperate with them. And I said that I might talk about it in a video diary. And this actually isn't something that happened previously, this is actually something that happened literally just now. This is being filmed October 12th, but it's like 11:50. So by the time that I upload this, it's probably going to be the 13th. Almost definitely going to be the 13th. I hope anyway. I'm planning to just upload this straight to YouTube probably. But this happened just now. I was with a group of people, and we were just there to socialize. Just, you know, we were outside, we were just meeting new people. It was just something that anyone could go to, essentially. And while I was there was someone who was telling this guy to back off from this person. And he wasn't even talking to her. He wasn't having anything to do with her. But someone was telling him to back off because apparently this person, who he wasn't bothering at all, has some sort of trauma with bald guys. And she was essentially telling him to either leave the social thing that he had every right to be at as much as everyone else, or put on a hat to cover his bald head. Baldy. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, it's kind of weird because I can almost imagine what could have been going on in their heads. Because when you kind of think about it, yeah, okay, if this person has trauma with bald guys, but at the same time, to then assume that all bald guys are bad is incredibly insensitive, incredibly abusive, and just incredibly, like, baldest, essentially. Like, I get it, you can have trauma with people, you can, you know, but at the same time, like, there's a limit to that. There's a point where it becomes unreasonable. If, say, like, I had a trauma with people of a certain skin color, that wouldn't fly. Suddenly, I'd be considered racist, and rightfully so, because I would be. And yeah. So, the bald guy, he seemed pretty defeated. He was very clearly upset. He was just kind of sitting there quietly, not quite sure what to do. I think he really wanted to stand up for himself. He just couldn't. I thought of myself in that situation and I wouldn't have liked it at all. There have been plenty of times where I've been in situations just like that, where I've been wrongfully accused by someone and no one was defending me. I had to defend myself completely on my own, and I'd usually fail, because when it's just one person against multiple people, most people will tend to side with majority rule rather than what's right. So, I did what I would want to be done for me, and I stepped in and I told them off. Told them, like, hey, like, dude, like, this guy, he isn't even bothering you. Like, if you don't want anything to do with him, then you should be the ones to leave. He has a right to be here. He has a right to socialize. You guys very clearly, not you guys, the people who I was talking to, obviously, but like, you guys, you very clearly aren't here to socialize. If you are, you're very clearly not to socialize with this guy. And the people who are all here, they gotta be open up to everybody. You can have your personal biases or whatever, you can have certain people who you don't really want to talk to, that's fine, but you can't tell that person to leave when they haven't actually done anything. Even if this guy was talking to you, you don't have the right to spit in his face and tell him off. Like, sure, I guess you have the human right to, but it's very rude. It's like the classic Vsauce pyramid thing, you know, like, there's stuff that is scientifically impossible, like you can't, well, as of now, you can't travel at the speed of light, you can't be in two places at once. Then there's stuff that is physically possible but forbidden by the law, like stealing or abusing people, I guess, which is kind of what they were doing. Then there's another thing, which I'll mention in just a moment, and then at the top of the pyramid is stuff that's awkward, you know, it's just stuff that you personally find disturbing, like not really knowing what to do with your hands or forgetting someone's name. But in the middle of the what's forbidden by the law and what you find awkward is social stuff. You know, it's not illegal to not say bless you when someone sneezes or to hold the door for someone, but it's considered a social protocol. It's considered rude if you don't do it. And it's incredibly rude to tell someone that they're not allowed to be at this public social event because of their physical appearance. I had to fight for this guy for a while. I was essentially being his lawyer. I was essentially taking the bullet all by myself. And then eventually, this kind guy, I'm not sure if I should say his name, but he came in and then he heard both sides and then he started defending my side and then I kicked in. There was a point in the argument I specifically remember where he said, this guy, he can't just spontaneously grow hair. And I added, even if he could, you can't force him to do that. He shouldn't have to do that to please you guys. He pointed out that they were essentially saying, like, Baldy. They were essentially calling him Baldy. They were essentially bullying and harassing him and bullying him. And eventually, the inevitable happened, and they said that we were being toxic men, we were toxic masculinity. They were saying that because we were men and we were defending another man, that somehow that automatically means that we're wrong. Eventually, finally, we told them off. So many times, told them how they were being abusive jerks. Finally they felt that they had no choice but to leave. And we shared each other's names, and I left shortly afterwards because that kind of stuff really leaves a bad taste in my mouth. But I've heard many times, sometimes I'll be having a conversation / debate with someone, and then I'll happen to use the words "not all men" as part of the sentence. I'll say, "Not all men do this." And then I'm told that apparently everything that I said is completely invalid because I use the words "not all men," which is apparently like this hashtag meme going around. But like, it's a perfectly valid thing to say. And like, it sucks now that when I'm having a conversation with someone, I'm essentially kind of watching over their words. Because sometimes, people will say, not all women do this. It's just 3 words that are bound to come up in a conversation about gender. And I'll call them out on that. I'll say, hey, you said not all women, but like when we say not all men, suddenly like that's some really bad thing to say. Yeah. I believe in a world where gender doesn't matter at all. I recently took a phone survey. It's just some random number called me, asked if I wanted to take their survey. I said sure. One of the questions that they asked was, how would you describe your gender? I responded with the exact words, my physical gender is male. I don't think that genders really matter, but it's male. They paused and then said, okay, and then moved on to the next question. I guess they weren't expecting me to say that. Genders don't matter, and they shouldn't matter. And yes, of course, women get abused by men all the time. It's just something that happens. But men get abused by women too. And I feel that I've seen enough in society to determine that there are at least some people who will see a man and a woman in a conflict and will immediately assume that it's the woman who's right and the man who's wrong, regardless of what they're actually fighting over. When I see a man and a woman arguing, I try my best not to see it. I don't see a man or a woman arguing. I see two people arguing. And if I'm up for it, I'll listen to both of their sides, and I'll fight for the one that I think is right. Because the person's physical appearance should have nothing to do with the validity. Is that a word? You know, how valid their argument is. The validity of their argument, you know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I feel like I've said enough. The video's probably like 10 minutes long. Yeah. I just wanted to share my thoughts out there because I feel like they're needed. You know? I know that a lot of people are not going to listen to the whole video. A lot of people are going to listen to the whole video and probably disagree somehow. I'm more than happy to discuss it in the comments. I might not always be in the mood for it. I might, if I leave a comment sit there for a while and not respond to it, it might just be that I'm just fed up and not really in the mood to talk about it, but I'm kind of in the mood to talk about it now while it's still fresh off the plate, something that literally just happened an hour and a half ago. Well, it's already October 13th. Anyway. I hope that my words reach at least some people. I hope that we're able to hear each other. And I hope, assuming my whole channel isn't terminated from this, that I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.